This is a good question. More than 90% of President Trump's nominees for federal judgeship are white, despite the fact that by 2043, there will be no clear racial majority in the United States. His judicial nominees, many of whom use hateful rhetoric and supported voter suppression laws, undermine the idea of representative democracy. That government should look like the people it serves. How do we continue to empower African Americans and people of color in a political climate like this?
Thank you very much. I want to keep you all laughing for just a hot second following the Reverend comments about Botox and whatever. Before my mother died, she was a humorist par excellence. And Mama used to say that the women that she worked with got facelifts and tummy tucks and all that kind of thing. She said, well, you can get a facelift, and you can get a tummy tuck and a butt lift and all of that, but you cannot fool a good flight of stairs. Yolanda Jackson will attest to the fact that she and I and others that we know in the legal profession have been decrying the fact that federal judges are in the hands of not only this president, but before that we would have seen the same kind of circumstances all the way from Reagan through the two Bushes. Clinton did a good job, and quite honestly, Barack Obama got outfoxed and left 110 United States District Court judges on the table. Last week, Chuck Schumer, who needs to give me some accountability for what he did, he let the Senate go out of business because they wanted to go home early for Labor Day, and they passed 15 United States District Court judges last week, Yolanda, who are from this same ilk. The focus has always been on the Supreme Court. But please understand this. Cases begin at the federal level, at least. Cases begin and end in the United States District Court. So what can we do about it? We keep filing lawsuits in spite of. Just think of, by the time Yolanda began practice, think about when Tom Reddick and Raleigh Rawls and George Allen and Jim Matthews in Miami and Brainerd in Miami were practicing. All of the judges were white.
That's right.
When I came here, all of the judges were white. All of the jurors were white. Right. And we won cases because we were better than them. That's exactly what we need to be about right now. Don't despair. Let's just be prepared to go forward and to make the arguments in court that are vitally necessary. Key to it all is to make sure that Trump doesn't get a chance to lift it. He's going to make 1/3 of the federal judiciary be white people. And I might add, I'm not all that happy with the black Afro-Negro colored people that he would appoint. I used to say about Reagan that he appointed one colored person, one Negro, and one African American. 3 was what he did. Donald Trump today has 4, and I'm not happy with a single one of them. Lydia, pardon me for going over, but this is a critical point for us, and we need to pay attention to it at the state level too. Get DeSantis as your next governor, and watch what we get in the way of appointments in a county like we're living in. Even though Stephanie and Jackie Powell just got elected, we still don't have 10% of the federal judiciary here. In terrorism, we don't have 5% of it in Palm Beach County as African Americans. We need to elect Andrew Gillum, and I promise you that he will appoint some black judges and some black judges.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have how many Supreme Court justices, state Supreme Court justices coming up? 3?
Well, we got 3 on tap. Only 1 left. One at this point.
I just want to echo a very important point We've had some black judges appointed, but understand that those black judges, some of them are not in the same field. One was, and I'm not being critical of them individually, except they came from the Federalist Society, which is the Society of Clarence Thomas. It is not, yeah, so you can't just say, you know, yes, we got black judges without looking at their philosophy. And the point is that Rick Scott, whom I work with, and you know, nice guy, wears great boots. But the idea is that what he's done, his last appointments have been black judges, one of whom went from one law firm in Tallahassee, was there and came down to Miami and got an appointment for a circuit court position that we have been waiting 20 years to fill by a black woman. So we just got to, you know, stay woke or whatever you call it, but understand that every appointment is not equal.
Right. Amen. Amen. Anyone else want to speak on that? Okay. Well, that was the last of our group questions. Now we have a few individual questions. Let's start with Congressman Hastings. Secretary of Education Betty DeVos was recently accused of saying that black college students lack the capacity to understand her agenda. Wow. How do we ensure African American children have access to quality public education when she rolls back civil rights for at-risk and minority students and continues to cut the federal education budget for public schools?
Lydia, your was enough for me. Betsy DeVos is a very wealthy person. And when she says that historically black students don't have the capacity to understand her agenda, I argue that she doesn't have the capacity to develop a meaningful agenda. Her agenda, when all is said and done, is to develop private schools, charter schools, religiously funded schools with your taxpayer dollars. Now, I agonize about this because the question becomes, what can we do about it? Until this administration is concluded, she is going to run that same agenda. Now, I'm going to live within the 2-minute rule this time, Lydia. I had spoken a little bit about the importance of pre-K. I will end by saying this. Betsy DeVos doesn't understand the importance of Head Start. Let me give you some data that you may not have thought about. 34 years of Head Start information is now developed. And the empirical data that is developed shows that of the African American, Latino, and white children that begin and end a Head Start program, more than 85% of them, black and white and Latino, do not go to prison. Did you hear me? Yeah. So kids that go in and in a Head Start program, the great majority of them don't go to prison. So we need more Head Start rather than less Head Start. And Betsy DeVos doesn't have the capacity to understand it.
All right. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you raise your hand with your card so we can pick it up. Second thing, we're going to try to get into as many questions as we can. We may not be able to with time restraints. The next individual question before we go into these, we have an individual question for each one of our panelists. And this is one for our Senate Minority Leader. With rights restoration on the ballot